everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Are you wondering, for food safety reasons, the best way to deal with leftovers? Well, I have something that I ran across years ago when I was teaching nutrition, and I think this is a good premise to remember. And like any general rule of thumb, there are exceptions to the rules, okay? So this does not always apply to everything, but it applies to a lot of foods. It is called the 2 by 2 by 4 rule. So what does that mean? Well, the first 2 represents 2 hours. When you've got a food that you have cooked and prepared, and let's say it's ready to eat by noon, you want to make sure that any leftovers are in the refrigerator no later than 2 o'clock. That's the 2-hour time frame. It's not 2 hours after you get up from the table. It's 2 hours from the time it's finished cooking. Why is this important? Bacteria can get in there, and at room temperature, bacteria in food will readily grow lickety-split. But when you put it in the refrigerator, yes, the bacteria is still there, but the growth of it slows down quite a bit. So if you can get your leftovers in the refrigerator in a timely way within that 2-hour window, you will help to preserve your leftovers that much longer. So it's really an important point for food safety. Now the second number, the second 2, represents 2 inches. Now what do I mean by that? Let's say you've made something that a big pot of soup or stew or a casserole or a meatloaf or something like that, and there's a big hunk of it left over or a big amount of that soup or stew left over. When you put it in the refrigerator, you either want to have it chilled down first, or you want to put it in a shallow container that is no more than 2 inches high, or at least have your food no more than 2 inches high, and it will chill down faster for you that way, which is very important. Prime example here. I have 2 containers. This one is rather shallow, this one is rather deep. Let's say you only have this type of a container, which is deeper. When you load this up with a warm soup or a stew and you put it straight in the refrigerator, there's a lot of heat held in there, and it takes hours, a lot longer than you would imagine, to get the very core of that chilled down to refrigerator temperature. What's happening in the meantime? Any bacteria that happens to be in there could be multiplying and having a real heyday. So you want to chill it down as quickly as possible, and just throwing it in the refrigerator is not going to do it. If this is the only kind of container that you have, a good way to chill it down would be to either take your pot that the soup is in, or this container that the soup is in, and put it in an ice bath. Whether if it's a pot, you could do it in your sink. If it's a container like this, you could put this in a pot or some sort of vessel that'll fit in, have a lot of ice cubes in there and some water, and sit this in there. You don't want to completely submerge it because you don't want water to go into your container. And then every now and then stir it around. Why? Because there's heat in the core of this, and it will be chilling down from the outer edges. So when you stir it around, you'll help to disperse that heat and help the core of it to chill down that much faster. When you know it's good and chilled down, then you can put this in the refrigerator. So let's say you're going to use this container, which is a lot larger and shallower. You can put your warm, I wouldn't put really hot liquid in a plastic container, but you could put your warm soup in there. As long as it is no higher than 2 inches, put that in the refrigerator and allow it to chill down that way. This will chill down a lot faster than this one loaded up with a hot liquid or stew or soup or food of some sort. Now, if you're tight on refrigerator space and this is a little bit too much, if you can squeeze it in to chill it down, and then you can transfer it into another container. And again, if this is all you have, put it in an ice bath and get it chilled really well before you stick it in the fridge. Your food should last a little bit longer that way because it will not have had the opportunity to grow a lot of bacteria in there while it's chilling down to refrigerator temperature. Now the last number, the 4, represents 4 days. As a general rule of thumb, it's a good idea to use prepared foods within 4 days. Now, yes, there are exceptions to this. We do know that some things will last longer than 4 days. That's great. And we also know that some things will never last 4 days. Let's say you've got a salad with a lot of lettuce and you've mixed it with salad dressing. Do you want to eat that 4 days later? Probably not. Or what if you've made some sort of a sandwich with like a meatloaf or meatballs or turkey or something like that? Do you want to eat that 4 days later? Probably not. So there are exceptions to the rule, but if you're just not sure how long a prepared food is going to keep in the refrigerator, if you remember that 4-day rule, chances are you're going to be okay as long as you treated it properly and wrapped it up well, chilled it down, whatever you needed to do before you put it in the refrigerator. So next time you're wondering what to do with a leftover, remember the 2 by 2 by 4 rule. 2 hours, 2 inches, 4 days. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Bye for now.